Hey, welcome back to another Black City coffee vlog. In this video, so many of my friends and family only have French press to start when they're getting into specialty coffee. And this is exciting because I never typically drink coffee from this. This was a gift. So I thought it would be useful for me to create a guide with French press if that's all you have right now and you're ordering coffee from Black City, which I really appreciate. This is how I would do it at home. So with your French press, you can preheat this carafe, so you can fill this with hot water so that it's warm and ready to go when you're ready to do your brewing, and then put that off to the side. For the ratio of coffee, you're gonna want to ground your fresh coffee right when you're about to brew, like I just did. Ooh. And this is a fully caffeinated Ecuador from our friends at San Verde Farms. And you're gonna want to ground it as coarse as possible. I do 58 grams of coffee, which is like 7 or 8 tablespoons of coffee to fill this guy. And that's been my sort of eyeball management of it. A wooden spoon I think is good. That way you don't, crack it or anything like that, because we will need to stir a little bit. And then water that's been boiled to about 205 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so I didn't preheat my carafe just because this is just for demonstration. So pull out the plunger. The thing with French press is that you'll notice that it's a metal filter here. So there's no paper filter being used, which means how this cup is going to taste is going to be a lot more rich because a lot more oils from the coffee are going to be in the coffee itself versus say pour over or drip, anything when you're using a paper filter. So first we drop in our grounds. Now French press is typically used for brewing a lot of cups of coffee. Now when you start getting into specialty coffee, you see a lot of pour over and a lot of single serve sort of things, and I believe that's because the coffee is so good once you learn how to brew it in that sort of way, and you're brewing specialty coffee, you don't need to brew 8 cups. And the thing with that is, like, if you're not serving a lot of people and you're just serving yourself, you have to reheat that coffee. And reheated coffee is never the best, it's never going to be the same as just brewed coffee. It's just not the same. Okay, so what we're going to do is just fill this halfway. And think of this kind of like a bloom. We're letting the coffee bloom a little bit. I forgot my timer, but I have my phone, I think. All right, so that's about halfway. Like visually, when I see the grounds come to the surface like this, that's when I give it a little stir. And I just want to make sure everything's fully incorporated. I don't want to get too crazy. Okay, I will fill it to the top. And to the top for me means right about here, where this line is. And really you can experiment like with how, strong you want it. But generally this will be a stronger tasting cup than say, stronger meaning mouthfeel. And now I want to start my timer for 4 minutes. And then at 4 minutes, we're gonna plunge this at a very nice steady rate. The coffees that I would be trying in Fresh Press is really anything, like in terms of say, what type of coffee is best in here. It really just depends on preference. And they're probably gonna want like just a stronger, heavier body in their coffee. Those are the type of people I think that would enjoy this type of brew method. So dark roasted coffees for sure, if you want to go for that dark roasted stuff, the chocolatey notes and all of that. Another reason why I don't use this is because it's messy for the cleanup. And that's why I love AeroPress. One, because I'm really the only one that drinks coffee and the cleanup is a cinch. So this is a little bit more messier. After you've drank all your coffee, you should absolutely rinse your plunger right away so it doesn't rust on you or anything like that, or just try to get out some of those oils in there if you can, soap and water. And then you have to clean out all the grounds from the carafe, which it's not just a simple toss it in the trash can. There are just a bunch of grounds left in there. So I find it to be more time consuming in the cleanup. I also wonder too, in the type of metal that they use for these filters, if you would taste that metal. So I haven't drank from this in a long time. I didn't even rinse it or heat it up or anything, so I may get some maybe adverse metal taste in my mouth, but we'll see. We're gonna taste it in a second right here. All right, There's our 4-minute brew time. Now we plunge, and it's just a very nice and slow, steady. I'm barely putting any pressure. It's basically the weight of my hand coming down on it. Take your time with it. That way you don't get any grounds in your coffee. What do you think of the voice? It's coming back. I'm getting that baritone almost. Just 2 days ago I couldn't hit that. So I'm improving fast now. This is fully caffeinated coffee, so this is about as, I'm probably maybe gonna have like 2 of these. Now right away I could tell the color's quite different. There's a reddish quality to say like some other coffees that I brew in a different way, like pour over or AeroPress. There's like a reddish tint to it. I don't know if you guys could tell the same, but this one's definitely more brown. So it's gonna be quite hot right now. Whoa. So this was that Ecuador sample that I roasted. I'm picking up metal. Yeah, there's definitely a metallic coin taste to it, which I don't like. It's mixing with the berry, and that's not the fault of the brewing itself or the coffee or anything like that. It's this is old. Like, I barely use it. Like I said, I probably should have washed it or something. But I think in general, whether you wash it or not, like if you have a maybe if it's a low-end French press, you might want to look into that. What type of metal is being used there? I'm guessing stainless steel would be the best, so that it wouldn't impart any metal flavor, but I don't know if I could say that with 100% confidence, because I have all these stainless steel water bottles, and whenever I get sort of at the end of it, it tastes metally. Or if it's not cold enough where it can mask the flavor of that metalness in the canister, I taste it still. It's not terrible. It's because I've made myself aware to it. So I was like looking for it almost. But it's there. There's this metalness to it. And if you've ever just held some coins in your hand and smelled it, so that irony, I don't want to say bloody, but kind of. Otherwise, I can see through to that, and the coffee's very good. It's just super juicy, bright citrus, apples, cherries, berries. Yeah, and just definitely more of a body. So I roasted this very light, just light, but there's definitely more of a body versus when I just had it through through pour over and through AeroPress, which I did try. And the only other way I tried it was through cupping it, it was cleaner. It was still cleaner because it wasn't plunged with that metal, and that's what I'm tasting, that extra layer of metal. What you don't want to do is take this plunger out before drinking everything. So you'll want to either transfer this to a carafe, and you can take it wherever you want to go, and then clean this, and then you don't have to worry about it. But I also believe too, as long as it sits here and the coffee grounds that are still underneath there, they're still probably gonna seep up a little bit. And theoretically, I think if you leave it here for a long time and then you drink what's at the bottom, it's gonna be almost silty, kind of grimy in a way, because I think it may become over extracted, but that's probably an experiment we can run, as I'm not going to drink all of this by myself for sure. I'd probably go into cardiac arrest or have a full out panic attack. But yeah, successful. So that is the French press. So I hope you enjoyed that.